Hey, it's Jordan from FitAF. Quick video. I want to explain to you this simple yet still somewhat confusing idea of being in a calorie deficit. Simple because it's all weight loss comes down to. Complicated because we seemingly have a hard time getting there. And there's a few ways to get there, right? You can track your nutrient intake, you can track your calories, and you could compare it with the results you're getting. If you are consuming 2,200 calories and you're losing weight, congrats, you're in a calorie deficit. That's one way. That's the way I generally prefer to do it with clients because it's very logical and you can make precise changes by changing your calories. If you don't know how many calories you're consuming, it's hard to do that. But there's also other ways to do it. Some people try different diets, and I've talked about these before. I label them as black and white diets, quite honestly. And there's nothing wrong with them. Are they the best in all circumstances? No, but a black and white diet, for example, is intermittent fasting where for 16 hours you're not eating, for 8 hours you're eating. That's black and white. There's no... well, maybe I'll eat. No, there's you just don't eat between these times and you eat between these times. And that alone doesn't produce weight loss. And it's funny because intermittent fasting, people will often say, just eat whatever you want. And as long as you do the fasting, you'll be fine. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. You still need to be in this calorie deficit. You need to consume less calories than you expend in order to lose weight. Intermittent fasting makes it easier to do that because there's a whole lot of time that you're not eating. So while it's no magic cure, it certainly helps some people do it. And quite honestly, when I'm dieting, I generally wait till a little bit later in the morning to eat and stop eating a little bit before I go to bed, just to create some guidelines. And honestly, I'm more productive in the morning without food, but that's a whole other story. So no matter how you get there, you got to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. And there's really no way around that. There's no carb, it's not carbs, it's not insulin, it's not fasting, it's not meat. These things aren't the issue. It's the consumption of calories. And it gets confusing because many people will try to lose weight and they'll still try to eat clean. And that's generally good because clean food, which really has no objective definition, to most people's standards are very similar. You're talking about minimally processed food, stuff like that. Now, these foods, if you go from eating a lot of junk food to eating clean foods, these foods are generally more satiating. They're more voluminous, they're larger in size, not always as calorie dense, and they're higher in fiber, protein, more satiating. I just said that. But in doing so, a lot of times people could start losing weight by eating clean, and that's great. And from a health point of view, that's even more beautiful, is that you're putting good nutrients in your body instead of fast food or whatever it was that you were doing before. But this isn't always sustainable in the sense that you might make the switch initially, and I've seen a lot of people do this. They eat clean and they have to use a lot of willpower to do it, at least initially. And when they see that their perceived effort to eat clean and diet is not giving them the results they want, then they get upset and they usually stop their diet altogether. So they might have lost weight for a little bit, but after a month, their progress stalled because, again, they didn't really know what they were eating or how much. They just knew that they were eating clean. And for a brief period of time, that put them in a calorie deficit, but then they started either eating more or their calorie expenditure dropped and they were no longer in a calorie deficit. So this is why, again, I do advocate tracking. I kind of went on a tangent there. Again, trying to make these videos to get better at making videos. It's not my most favorite thing to do in my free time, but I don't know. I hope that helps. Stay tuned for the next video.